Today, the U.S. Supreme Court took up a case that could divide Americans' entire tariff system because one ruling could decide how expensive everyday goods become and who actually controls U.S. trade policy. Here's the issue. On November 5th, the court heard arguments on whether President Trump can use the International Emergency Economic Powers Act (IEEPA) to impose 10% to 50% tariff on most countries and almost all imported products without Congress. Put simply, can a president declare an emergency and take over Congress' taxing power? The plaintiffs include multiple states, small business, and industry groups. The defendant, the Trump administration. The case is in front of all 9 Supreme Court justices. If Trump loses, the consequences land immediately. These tariffs collapse overnight. Importers pursue massive refund claims tens of billions. The White House could have to fall back to narrower tools like Section 232 and 301, which have stricter limits. Supply chains and pricing models get rewritten instantly, and Congress reasserts control over tariffs and emergency powers. Today's hearing was intense. Plaintiffs said IEEPA isn't global tax switch. It's for sanctions, freezing assets, embargoes, not universal tariffs. Tariffs are tax, and the Constitution gives that power to Congress. Using IEEPA this way violates the major questions doctrine, and companies are suffering, stopped orders, shifting suppliers, cash flow shocks. The Trump administration argued these are regulatory tariffs, not taxes. The president needs flexibility in emergencies, and if the tariffs fall, Americans could face ruthless retaliation. The White House also says it has Plan B, pivoting to 232 and 301, so negotiations don't stall. But here's the twist. Across the ideological lines, the justices were skeptical, and the strongest pushback came from conservatives. Roberts, Barrett, and Gorsuch, 3 justices Trump could normally count on. They pressed where the clear authorization. If this is annulled, could a president impose any tariff on anything forever by calling it an emergency? Since when does a trade deficit become a national emergency? Isn't a tariff still a tax? They cared less about refund chaos and far more about protecting constitutional boundary. So what's the likely outcome? Most legal observers now say Trump losing is more likely than not. Estimated 60 to 70% chance the court rejects using IEEPA as a universal tariff power. Because today revealed something rare. Even conservative justices weren't buying the administration's logic. This isn't just about trade. This is about whether a president can use emergency power to rewrite American tax and trade laws alone. And today, the Supreme Court showed real hesitation to hand any president, Trump or otherwise, the keys to unlimited tariff power.